Hey everyone, Tom Novak here with Novak Weather. We're going to be focusing on the winter storm now that's likely going to create a blizzard across the upper Midwest. This would include Minnesota and Wisconsin for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday now of this coming week. So there's a lot to talk about, and I know a lot of you are anxious to hear about this and to dig into the details. So let's get right to it. All right, what you're looking at now, these are the winds at about 30 to 35,000, well, actually about 20 to 25,000 feet. And this is what we call a jet stream or a jet streaks in our atmosphere. And I want you to focus on what's happening here in portions of the upper Midwest here. And let's put this into motion right now as we look towards Wednesday and Thursday. Now, look at this deepening trough here that digs into the central plains and then upper Midwest. We call this a trough, like I had mentioned. And look at how it turns negative here over time, right there. That's important. The axis of this trough turns negative. That's a pretty certain indication that we're going to have a winter storm here across the upper Midwest as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And look at how powerful these winds are at 20 to 25,000 feet. They're at about 130 knots or so. And even as we go further up into the atmosphere at the jet stream level, this is, of course, where the airplanes, the jets will put it on cruise control. But watch what happens as we put this jet stream into motion at 30 to 35,000 feet. Look at these strong winds that are surging into the central and southern plain states here on Wednesday and Thursday. Winds at about 160 to 180 knots. So this is a powerhouse jet structure that is going to bring quite a bit of snow, a ton of wind, and of course, falling temperatures to the upper Midwest, including Minnesota and Wisconsin. All right, we're focusing in on Wednesday evening now and take a look at the temperatures here in the cold reservoir of Arctic air over Montana, North Dakota, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Temperatures on Thursday, or I should say on Wednesday afternoon and evening, are going to be well below zero for the high temperatures during that period here later in the day on Wednesday. Meanwhile, we'll have temperatures in the upper 20s and even low 30s over southeastern Iowa. So there's a good 40 to 50 degree temperature difference between Iowa and Saskatchewan and North Dakota, and in between is where you get usually a storm system, and that is what we are expecting. But of course, most importantly, we have cold air in place, and that is one critical ingredient when you're looking for snow. Let's put these are the temperatures now in the winds in the atmosphere as we go through time. And this is the European computer model guidance, and we're focusing on today. And here, look at the temperatures today. We get a little bit of a surge of warm air here in southeastern Minnesota. That's what's creating the snow today. But look at this cold air over Minnesota, North Dakota, and southern Canada as we head into tomorrow and Wednesday morning. And then, yes, this is our winter storm. This is our blizzard. As we get into Wednesday evening, you can see it here. This is at about 7 or 8 p.m. now on Wednesday. Look at the clash of air masses right over southern Minnesota, western Wisconsin, northern Iowa. As warm air comes up out of, or attempts to come up out of Missouri and Iowa, it rides up and over this intense dome of cold air, and that is what's going to create our snow. And then eventually we get on the backside of that system so that by Thursday night and Friday morning, you can see it here. Look at these strong winds. These are what we call isobars, these lines here of equal pressure. And when they're tightly grouped like this, that means there's going to be strong winds. I can see winds at about 30 to 40 miles per hour sustained on Friday, with gusts maybe even up to 50 miles per hour. Hence the reason why we're worried about blizzard conditions over much of the upper Midwest and northern Great Lakes. Here's another view of this as we zoomed out over the United States. Take a look at this storm system, how impressive it is as we go into Thursday. Let's rewind this for you real quick. This is Wednesday now, Wednesday evening. Look at the storm system now pulling out of the Rockies and into the Central Plains, and then eventually it surges east and northeast towards Chicago on Thursday. And look at what happens by Thursday and Friday. Look at all the strong winds and tightly packed isobars over almost the northern 2/3 of the United States. This is going to be a winter storm that many people are going to be dealing with travel headaches on Thursday and Friday, especially from the Dakotas on southeast into the Corn Belt of Indiana and Ohio. So it's not just us that's going to be dealing with this storm system. It's pretty much the whole nation. Look at the winds. This is Wednesday evening. This is the reason why we're going to have a lot of snow and a lot of wind. But look at this is Wednesday at about 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening. We have winds at 20 to 25,000 feet coming out of the west, and they're strong. And then as we go down in the atmosphere, this is at about 15,000 feet. Look at this. We have a surge of southwesterly and southerly winds that are poking up into southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin on Wednesday evening. Of course, those winds are going to be riding up and over that dome of cold air. And then at about 5,000 feet, we still have strong winds coming up out of the south, a low-level jet that's going to be feeding moisture into southern Minnesota. Hence the reason why we can expect, I think, a lot of snow. Even though it's going to be dangerously cold outside, I still think we're going to get a lot of snow out of this. That's why my travel impact confidence level is really high here for, almost the whole state of Minnesota and Wisconsin, northern Iowa at least, as a low pressure system tracks to near or just south of Chicago on Thursday. If you're traveling anywhere from Grand Forks, Fargo on southeast towards the Twin Cities, La Crosse, east to Green Bay, and then west to Sioux Falls. These are all areas that you probably want to have a plan B, because it's going to be nearly impossible to drive, especially as we get into Thursday and then Friday morning. Eventually, this is going to ease up, I think, Friday afternoon and evening. And the better days to travel will be early Wednesday and then Saturday. Here's your extended forecast. I really don't want to show you this because I know a lot of people are going to be upset, but temperatures are good 20 to 25 degrees below the average. And yeah, major winter storm for Wednesday into Thursday with blizzard conditions Thursday into Friday, I think. And then we're just left with cold Arctic air through the weekend, another shot of snow, maybe late Sunday. All in all, this is one of the most wintry forecasts I've ever shown you, that I've ever experienced in my many, many years of life. So everybody, a lot of people wanted winter. Well, you're going to get it. So be prepared. Thanks for joining me. Take care and be safe out there.